Hey, welcome here. I thought since the last time we were out in nature on the beach and on the cliffs, I might have you back over to the living room just to check in. Amazing call that we had together on Monday, and thank you for the depth that you bring every time we all come together. And thank you for claiming your peace. I'm still feeling that there's some of you out there, and you know I'm talking directly to you, that are staying invisible. And I want to invite you out. We're coming into week 5, and this is your time to be seen. I know that you're absorbing everything and that you're being moved and your presence is felt, but we want to see you and we want to hear you. And you came here to be seen and heard. So for those who have been contributing, I want to thank you for holding that space and bringing your wisdom. And with you who have been contributing, let's invite the other folks to take up their space and bring their ingredients as well. So we've been getting real, we've been dropping the waterline, we've been stepping out of our comfort zone, we've been finding our parts, all the parts of us, the ones that are out front running our lives, and the ones that we want to hear from more, the ones that have been relegated to the shadows. We're bringing all of those parts back. And it all happens right here in the body. Every time we get together, every time we move out of isolation into relationship, every time we share our wisdom, every time we share our life experience, it's from first connecting into our own bodies. Our bodies hold all of our life experience, everything that's happened. So right here, I got hit in the head with a baseball at 8. On this arm, I shot so many drugs into my body and experienced all the effects of that. In my stomach, it holds the kick that I felt when my mom told me she was sending me to my grandma's house. All of our histories, the places that we've been struck, the places that we've been stroked, the places that we've been kissed, the places where we've been pushed away, all held in this body. So this body is our doorway to fully engaging in life, our doorway into fully finding our passion. It is our vehicle to reach each other. It is our vehicle to reach our purpose. It is our connection with God. So no getting around it. We've got to come into the body and we've got to listen to the body. And that's some of the work that we'll be doing today. So our bodies are a bit like a tree, except not quite that linear and concise. Everything that's happened at every age and every decision and adaptation that we've made is here in our body, stored here. It could tell us the story of everything that's happened to us and the age that it happened to us. We're going to be doing some work on life maps and really owning our story, owning our history, and connecting it with our present, seeing how everything that has happened to us thus far has created us as we are, and even stretching to see how every painful and joyful and seemingly random experience might be part of a perfect recipe that has created us as we are today and as we are becoming in the future. So I'm going to give you an invitation now to start to invite your history back. And it's really simple what we're going to do. I'm going to give you an age range, and you're going to write down the first word that comes for that age range. And I want you to really let go of the mind, let go of what you know, let go of whether it makes sense, and just write down whatever word comes. And the first age range is 0 to 2. So just write down whatever word describes your life from 0 to 2. And if your mind says, I don't know what happened 0 to 2, I don't have any words, just write down the first word that comes and trust that that's the right word. Great. Now we're going to keep going, and we're going to just keep it fast, and we're going to say, next write down the word that comes that describes your experience from 3 to 5. What was happening from 3 to 5? Write the word down. Don't take any time. Don't second guess yourself. Just write the word that describes your experience from 3 to 5. And now 6 to 8. And if images come up of who you were, what you look like, who was there when you were 6 to 8, just let those images be there and let them crystallize into a word that describes what your experience was, what your life was like, what it felt like to you at 6 to 8. The next age range is 9 to 11. And on purpose, I'm not giving you a lot of time to think about this because this is not about your mind. This is just what comes first. From 9 to 11, what was your life experience like? What was it like to be in your body from 9 to 11? Write down whatever word comes. Trust what comes. Don't second guess yourself. Okay, great job, great job. I want you to just take a deep breath right now. Into your body, feeling your feet, feeling if your butt's on a chair, if your back's up against the back of a couch. I'm just sitting upright. Feel your body here in space. And just reminding yourself that this is the same body that your mother held, that crawled, that maybe breastfed, that took its first run, that used to have its diapers changed, that was a little starry-eyed kid that giggled, that played. This is that body, and this is the body that experienced everything else that happened in your childhood. Now we're up to 12 to 15. For many of us, this was a really emotional time. 12 to 15, what's the one word that describes your experience in your body, inside of your body, from 12 to 15? Write that word down. Don't second guess yourself. Next age range is 15 to 18. Another time full of so many changes, so many emotions, so many hormones. Don't think. What word describes your experience from 15 to 18? Write it down. And notice as you write the word down, whether you feel connected to it or not, is there any emotion? What do you feel? What are you noticing in your body? Are you breathing into your belly? Are you breathing just above your ribs? Are there any memories? Is it a blank? I'm going to give you another age range now, and that age range is 18 to 21. What word describes your life, how it felt to be in your body from 18 to 21? Write that word down. Again, trust what you receive. If you feel like you're just writing a random word down, you're doing it perfectly. Don't second guess yourself. And now, 22 to 25. Right? What did your life feel like in your body from 22 to 25? Trusting what you get. And now writing down what it felt like in your body from 25 to 27. Who's around you? How did it feel? And we're looking for the word that describes your experience internally. And then lastly, what did it feel like in your now adult body? It may not have felt like an adult body from 27 to 30. And we're going to stop there. So once you've wrote down your word that describes 27 to 30, if you've reached 27 yet, I know many of you haven't, I'd love you just to look over your words. And again, scan your chest, scan your belly, and see, is there any emotion that comes up as you look over these words? And now I'm going to give you a little bit more time to go back and make a sentence with each of these words and each of these age ranges. So if from 18 to 21, your word was scared, you might make up the sentence, scared to be myself. Or if from 6 to 8, your word was playful, You might make up a sentence, I was playful and alive. Can't do it wrong. I'm asking you to take these words and make a sentence. And I'm going to give you some time because I recognize that you've got around 8 or 9 different sentences to make. So I'm going to let you do that now. And I'm going to be doing it with you. All right, great work. I'd love you to look back at these sentences that you created now. Breathe into your belly and just notice how it feels to read them. Do you feel more connected and more access to one age range or another? Do you notice that there are ages where you feel just a total blank? You don't know what happened and then you feel no connection, and other ages where you feel some instant pain or resistance to even thinking about what it was like to be like 6 to 8 or 12 to 15. So just noticing that. And now I'm going to ask you an open question. What were the most impactful events of your childhood? And we don't need to write down more than 3 to 5. But what comes to you when I say, what were the most impactful events of your childhood? Trust what you get, can't do it wrong. Go ahead. Great, and looking back at whatever you wrote, just noticing, was your answer a surprise? Was it something that you know about? Or was it something you just remembered? Was it something that you thought wasn't that significant, but now it does feel kind of significant? Whatever you wrote, again, can't do it wrong, and we're just opening the doors of our past to find and discern who we are today. So now I'd like you to write down the most impactful experiences you've had as an adult. I recognize that some of you haven't been an adult for too long, and others of us have been an adult for quite a while. So whatever it is for you, what have been your most impactful experiences as an adult? Go ahead. So we're going into the subconscious and we're retrieving our past by asking it questions and inviting it out. So I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm going to ask you to finish the sentence, and I'm going to say it a few times so you can write it down. What motivates and drives me is. What motivates and drives me is. What motivates and drives me is. Write that sentence down and finish it. You're doing great. And this is a great way to find out about ourselves, right? Most of us have not been asked enough questions. So that's why in this work that we do together in these pre-course videos, we're asking ourselves questions. And we're developing a curiosity about our past, about how we feel, about how we experience things, about how we think, about all of the ways that we perceive and interact with the world. So then the next question is, what scares me is? A sentence. What scares me is. What scares me is. So writing down what scares me is and then finishing the sentence. Go ahead. Fantastic. So trust that you are unlocking some deep doors inside. And this is the way that we talk to the consciousness. This is the way we find ourselves. So the next question I have for you, or sentence to finish, discovery to make, is what I want most is. What I want most is. What I want most is. Writing those words down and finishing the sentence. What I want most is. So as I said, we're talking to our unconscious. And many times there are profound truths about who we are and what we're here for that we've hidden from ourselves for a lot of reasons. So I'm going to ask you now to finish this sentence. The truth that I've hidden from myself up until now is. The truth that I've hidden from myself up until now is. The truth that I've hidden from myself up until now is. Trust what you get. Know that the answer may feel weird or not right or whatever. Trust what you get. The truth that I've hidden from myself up until now is. Go ahead. As we've been talking about today, our bodies have stories to tell. And I'd love to invite your body to tell you a story about something very specific. About a time when your body internally experienced some kind of shame for your sexual desire or your gender identity. Your body was just feeling what it feels, expressing how it expresses, and something happened. So my question for you is, what happened? Your body knows. Let your body tell you that story now. Go ahead. This is deep work we're doing, and we're going to continue with life maps and all of the classes that you're taking and experiencing and everything that's happening on WhatsApp is all part of a process. So for today's process, you've been unlocking a lot of doors and tilling the soil so that your life maps will be an even more rich experience. So I'd love you just to look over what you've written today as you work on your life maps and see what you can start to connect in each of your life experiences. Maybe some that you thought were horrific and mistakes and things that should have never happened. And that may be true. But I also like you to look for how they were also the perfect ingredients for the perfect recipe of who you are now. How have they formed you? How have they influenced how you perceive and how you've developed? What we're looking at is, how did we become the people we are today? How did our experience and our interactions get colored by what's happened to us so far? We're reclaiming all the pieces of who we are. So no pressure. We've got a lot of time to do this process. We're just moving into week 5, moving into halfway. But I'd love you just to be open to finding where those connections are from your childhood, from your young adulthood, from your time as an adult. How have you formed into being who you are today? We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, and thanks for doing this work.